Prinz Rupprecht. Hello and welcome back. Recently I have acquired this fine vessel and boy is it dirty to play, especially in ranked, which is what we're going to be looking at today. Now the game in question, we're currently playing on the map Haven in bronze ranked, so this is going to be tier 8 and 9 ships, so already we are at a bit of an advantage. Now the first thing I've really gotten from this ship, because I've been playing it for a few weeks now since I got past Eton, and I've got to say, this is probably one of the only ships that I've played recently that can actually initiate a push and stick around for it, because what you'll have with other battleships is you'll just sort of go in, get burnt down, focused or something like that, because, you know, they've got the main guns, but apart from that there isn't really too much. But in terms of Rupprecht, it's able to get in there, do a bunch of damage, scare anything out, because you've also got the benefit of hydro. If anything's close to you, you've got torpedoes, secondaries, and you've got the main batteries. So it's really got sort of everything there, but I've got to say I'm really enjoying it, and you're also going to see how this plays in this game, especially when we get into close quarters combat. Now, in terms of my build, if you're wondering what I'm running, this is what I've got for my captain, if you wanted to pause it, and this is what I've got for my upgrades. It's not a full 21-point commander, but I am working onto that, and quickly sort of talk about when we're getting into game here is we can see the Marlborough, which blissfully unaware of what is about to come and smack it, so we unleash a full salvo, start turning a bit to the left, even though Marlborough, most of the time, they will be loading high explosive, because HE is sort of what you're going to want to go with Marlborough, and we do manage to get a nice 10,000 damage. But in terms of why the ship seems to do exceptionally well in this game mode, actually did come up in my Discord recently as well, so I think it was Broadside that mentioned it. And actually, just before mentioning that, I just want you to witness the beauty of when you get some tight dispersion. 9,500 HP, 1,500. That was 7 over penetrations. Imagine like a single penetration there. That would have been the end of that Lo Yang's day. So very happy with that. And then it's just up to my secondaries to do the remainder of the work there, which is very nice. But he was saying that because of the smaller team sizes, and plus you're less likely to be crossfired because of that, that's where you're sort of going to be doing quite well, because you've also got stealth, so you can more, I'm assuming, well, he was getting onto it where you can get to more close range engagements. And speaking of which, we just got a close quarters expert and the First Blood Award, knocking out the first destroyer of the game. Also, this ZF6, I have to say, they were a wonderful play, because you'll see throughout this game they are a massive help, and we are going to be needing their help, as if you look on the map real quick, you can currently see we've got a Pommern and a Marlborough, which, well, there we go, they have just flipped the Bravo cap. So we've got to somehow deal with 2 battleships whilst it's just us on much less HP than they've got, with our friendly ZF6, who is definitely going to be rather key in this engagement. So in terms of the stats for it, it can actually be incredibly stealthy. So once you go with a full stealth build, I mean, it depends on how you really want to play it. I'm not too sure whether I'm actually going to go for full stealth or going to go more for survivability, because a lot of the time you're just going to be sort of blasting away and spotted anyway, so I'm not too sure. But you can get this thing down to, I think it's about 12.2 kilometers spotting, which for something with this much firepower is genuinely surprising, because pretty much as soon as something is able to spot you and you're already spotting them, they're going to be met with a maelstrom of firepower, just secondaries, main batteries, everything is going to be chucked at them. And again, as Broadside said in my Discord, has enough secondaries to blot out the sun. Now, speaking of which, as you can see, we're currently in a kiting position here, because I was thinking, well, the Marlborough and the Pommern are going to be thinking, oh, we can sort of push this, there's only a Rupprecht there, and I mean, if they notice the smoke, they'll know there's a destroyer, but considering they weren't spotted, probably thought they were safe to push. However, since the Marlborough is already coming straight towards me, I've got my secondaries immediately locked onto them, which means we're just going to get some nice passive damage here, because they are just going to keep on getting more accurate up until they get their full reduction. Now, here is the Pommern as well. They will get this, well, they are sort of going away from me now, so in terms of secondaries, they won't be getting any on me, but as soon as they start turning back around again, they will start to get that on me. Unfortunately for the Marlborough, they are sort of mispositioning here, so they're going sort of side on. You can see my torpedoes already coming towards them. I'm also able to get my guns there, but unfortunately I do aim a little bit too much forward. I was anticipating them to go a bit faster, but that's not so bad because you can see my torpedoes are well on course towards that Marlborough, and they've already lost a great portion of their HP. They are trying to somewhat mitigate that with a heal, but as you can see, they're already taking so much damage. That's going down, so once that heal stops, they're going to be losing that at an even faster rate, whilst we're able to keep on mitigating it too, because we're not really getting focused there. I mean, the ZF6 was just spotted and took a nasty chunk there, so the high explosive is definitely something you don't want to mess with, but there we go. ZF6 gets a torpedo, I get a torpedo, and the final one gets us our second kill confirmed, and now we're able to move our attention onto the bomber. Now, this is what I was saying with the ZF6 being incredibly helpful here, because they saw, oh yeah, in trouble, I'm going to come around, give you a smoke, and I've got to say that is just absolutely wonderful, and because that bomber wanted to get some hits on us, they fired. We now have no smoke firing penalty, able to catch them out in a turn, whilst they take 2 torpedoes, get 2 floods, and lose half of their HP in a matter of seconds, which I am very happy with. Unfortunately, we weren't angled enough there, so we did take some pretty nasty damage. 7,000 HP, but considering the amount of HP we traded, already on 120,000 damage, I'm quite happy with how this is going. And plus, because this is really what I wanted to do anyway, I wanted to get into sort of a kiting position because I thought, well, against 2 ships, don't really want to be going towards them, so once you're facing away it means you can accelerate quicker and you can get to a higher speed as well. So now we're able to sort of withdraw, do a bunch more damage. As you can see, already we're on 73, well, up to 80 target hits for our secondaries now, just in this single engagement, so already getting over 200. And now we've got this bomber down to 30,000 HP, less than us, and when you consider that the Rupprecht and the bomber are exactly the same tier, the health difference is pretty massive. There's like a 17,000 HP difference, but we have still managed to come out on top, which is why I think this ship is so incredibly powerful. Now, because the bomber is going away and they're sort of going to want to heal and stuff, I'm thinking I'm probably going to try and support the rest of our team. Well, I say rest of it, we've already lost 2 ships, but I wanted to go and support the Ognavoy because I believe they were low, and the Kearsarge too, because they have got a Georgia and a Neustrashimi as well, which that's more what I'm scared of, is because if that destroyer sort of gets, I guess, open season against that Kearsarge, there isn't too much it can do because it does have the fighters, but, or sorry, the rocket attack planes, but apart from that, there isn't really too much it can do if it has the news just sort of rushing it, especially with all those islands that it can hide behind. So I'm thinking, I'll go over, use my hydro, and at the same time, we're still able to get quite a few hits onto this bomber, and as you can see, whilst I've been talking, they are now on 19,000 HP, which is quite good, and the ZF6 is just staying here to support me, but they do look poised to start moving up towards the B cap. In terms of map control, the enemies do have an advantage, but in terms of ships, we have a 1 destroyer advantage. However, as I said a few seconds ago, the Ognavoy is quite low and they are still losing HP, so it does look like we are going to be losing them any second now, since they are currently versing the Neustrashimi. So at this point, I'm starting to head over and hopefully support our Kearsarges, the Georgia as well. If they can sort of get to the side of them, that's also going to be very bad news, so I just want to sort of get there before they can do any real damage. Thankfully, the Ognavoy is getting some torpedoes off. Whether those hit the Georgia, I don't know, but at this point you can see the ZF6 is starting to move up as well, especially if the bomber is sort of repositioning, it may be a free cap too. So unfortunately, our Ognavoy has just been knocked out, leaving us at, well, the same sort of ships. We've got exactly the same classes on each side, but we do have the disadvantage in terms of caps, so we are going to have to be somewhat quick before they get an advantage on point and win the game. At this point, it's just really a fact of we are moving, there's not too much interesting going on, but I've got to say I am quite looking forward to Schlieffen, so if you want to see my, I guess, first impressions or reviews of that once I do get it, then maybe subscribe, because we are getting quite close to 1,000 subscribers, and that would be quite nice to get that before possibly the end of July, which would be quite nice. Now, the bomber is spotted again for a second, so having that ZF6 moving up is brilliant, because they're going to provide spotting damage, well, spotting for us. We can damage them, they can benefit, we can benefit, so overall it looks quite good. So at the moment I am training my guns over towards the bomber, because we can't see the Georgia. The Neustrashimi, they are probably, well, yeah, they're quite far away and there's not too much we can do. I mean, I think in this position actually they'll be getting into our secondary range soon, but that depends on whether we can even keep them spotted. No, actually, it seems, yeah, they're going to be out of there, and the island's going to cover them, so they are going to be pretty safe. But you can see at the moment the Georgia is starting to edge forward, but I think they're scared because they don't really know what else is around the corner. It could be a destroyer. Well, They don't, well, they know it's not the destroyer now because it's going for the Pommen, but we get some shots off. I was thinking the Pommen would get some too, but instead they were firing at the Zerv 6. We get a nice, just 11,000 damage there, get them down to 22k. And you can see there are some torpedoes heading over, so it looks like that Pommen is not going to be having a good day. So they are trying to heal it, but yeah, you can see those going over. They've gotten a pretty nice spread there. Hits one, and then they also hit the second and do manage to get their first kill. At that point, I do try to alert the Zerv 6 to see if they can go to B. I think they got caught on the island or something looking at the map, so I think they're just repositioning at the moment. But at the time, I'm thinking, oh yeah, just try and prompt them just in case they don't know. And considering how we are on points, we are, even though we've got that benefit now from the Pommen being knocked out, we are still at risk of losing, especially with the position here, so just definitely need that ZF6 to get in the cab, and if the new Sashimi goes around as well, there is also the potential of that too. Now, thankfully, I do have the Hydro as well, so this is why I was more thinking of heading over here as well, because I can at least detect any torpedoes that are coming over, and that has also provided me with the benefit of being able to see the Georgia, and also possibly the new Sashimi if I'm able to get close to them, or any torpedoes they sent. Speaking of which, here is the new Sashimi with 17,000 HP, coming very close to us as well, so I was thinking, oh, this kind of needs to be a one-shot, otherwise I might be in a bit of trouble here. So wait for my guns to clear this island, see them there, side on, unleash everything, get the secondaries on them. Unfortunately, the Georgia does get a shot on us, takes out a decent amount of HP, but we're able to get some torpedoes off because I was thinking, ooh, if the Nusra does get some torpedoes and knocks us out, we can at least potentially get sort of a kill even after we're dead. So sort of go those over towards the Georgia, who is reversing at the moment, and now I'm just trying to sort of stay safe. And because at this point I was like, oh, I don't actually know how many torpedoes the new Sashimi has, so I'm like, okay, I just got to be careful, plus our Hydro has just run out. So I'm just kind of pushing forward, staying somewhat angled in case the Georgia spots us and gets us. Oh, yeah, they're not going to get us because we just knocked them out with a torpedo, but just in case they reloaded and got a Citadel or something, so just keeping angled to stay safe. Now at this point, it's literally just the new Sashimi. The ZF6 is heading towards the B cap now, which is quite good, so even if I die, we should theoretically win. But I'm just getting through now, hoping to spot this new Sashimi, because they're not going to be able to escape quick enough. So it's just, as soon as I get out of this smoke, I'll have more information. I'll either see them, or I'll know in a rough direction where they are. So because I can't see them, and the cap is still contested, that leaves me to believe that they are just behind this island here, as the Kearsarge would be spotting them from the right instead. So I start turning to my right, and I've got to say, I wasn't sure if new Sashimi had reloaded or not. I don't know the reload time, and I saw this and panic. I was really panicked, but thankfully no torpedoes here, meaning I'm pretty safe to just open fire here, get a good amount of damage. But if anyone does know how long it takes for the new Sashimi to reload, that would be quite good if you can let me know in the comments below. But with that, we're able to get our final shots off, confirm the 4th kill, and that is the end of that game. And what a result that is. 212,000 damage, managed to get 4 kills, surprisingly 6 torpedo hits there, 251 secondaries, along with the close quarters, first blood and high caliber heroic achievements, with a nice 2,243 base XP, and here's a quick rundown of all the damage we did, but overall a brilliant result. As a ship, Rupprecht is something I've really enjoyed playing the past few weeks, and now can't wait to unlock Schlieffen. If you enjoyed this video, then you might also like my first impressions of Atlantico, which is on screen now.